le ayudan las dos? Sí?
Sí.
Okay.
I come to the food bank because they took my help away in the food stamps. They lower it all the way down. And because I have a sick husband, he's dealing with cancer. And me, I have fibromyalgia. I can barely get around. I'm losing my eyesight because of my diabetic. And I'm dealing with my husband's sickness at the same time.
Patty Martinez goes to Cultural Cup Food Bank once or twice a week.
I get canned goods, beans, juices, bread, and a lot of vegetables when they have it.
But Patty can't eat just anything. Diabetes requires a certain diet, one that's hard to sustain with food from a food bank. And if it were up to her, she'd eat differently.
I get me my diabetic food like I'm supposed to.
Do you think that your health situation could be different if you could afford the right kind of food?
Yes, ma'am.
Patty is one of thousands of Arizonans and millions of Americans whose dietary needs are starting to be recognized by food banks.
What we find with lower income populations, healthy food is a luxury. It's not easy to buy, it's not affordable. So really the foods that a lot of people are eating are those that are high in sugar, high in fat, high in sodium, and we also see that here at the food bank too.
They tell you not to eat a lot of pasta, that it's not good for you, or eat a lot of certain foods, but unfortunately, a lot of the times that's what you receive is unhealthy food. And you don't have a lot of options when your income is limited and your food stamps don't cover the food. You pretty much have to eat what you receive. Pasta. Lots of pasta. It's okay though.
A well-balanced diet really has both short and long-term benefits. The short-term benefits is that you generally feel better, you have more energy. The long-term benefits really are that it reduces your risk of a number of chronic diseases, which in the United States really account for the top 5 causes of death. And those chronic diseases include heart disease, type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure.
3 of the most common illnesses among people in poverty, including those who go to food banks. Every 4 years, Feeding America conducts the country's largest and most comprehensive survey of Americans seeking food assistance. And for the first time ever, in 2014, the survey asked about diet-related diseases, finding that 58% of households nationwide have a member with high blood pressure. In Arizona, that's 54%. And 33% of households nationwide have a member with diabetes. In Arizona, that's 42%.
There's a lot of realization that folks that visit the food banks that are struggling with hunger, struggling with poverty, may have dietary related illnesses. So there is an initiative growing to get more healthy food out there.
In Arizona, Cultural Cup Food Bank is a leader in that initiative. It was founded 11 years ago with a specific clientele in mind.
They're at risk more than anybody else because of their dietary restriction. So, you know, it's not right to treat them as if it's not important, and most of the food banks just don't cater to them. And so what we've done is we partner with St. Mary's and we get emergency food boxes from them and go through the boxes to see what people can or cannot use out of them.
Cultural Cup is an independent food bank with a smaller client base, giving it more leeway in its services. But larger food banks are also starting to take part in the diet-conscious movement. Desert Mission Food Bank, a member of the Association of Arizona Food Banks and the Honor Health System, has a nutrition specialist, a grocery market, and unique programs to emphasize client choice and healthy foods.
They are probably the leaders here in the state of sort of combining that healthcare related aspect with the food bank, understanding that positive lifelong health outcomes definitely interact with food, and that if you're not eating well, you're not eating the right types of food, you don't have enough to eat, if it's interfering perhaps with your medications, there's going to be some adverse consequences.
Salad?
I am grateful for all the help that I get, but at times when you go to the freezer and it's all full of bread and you're diabetic, it's really not a good scenario. So that's why I come here, because 9 times out of 10 I can get some kind of fruits or vegetables.
Clients can use food stamps to essentially build their own food box, including their choice of available meats, produce, bread, shelf-stable foods, and any extra donations from food drives.
If they have some cultural concerns or they have some dietary concerns, that model allows you to say, I'd love to have that, but I really can't, my diet won't let me, so I'm going to grab 2 of these instead.
Finding the right foods is even harder for clients like Michael, because in addition to diabetes, he also has food allergies.
I go around and we have to literally do like I do at the grocery store, pick up the packages and read what I have, make sure there's no chicken, no fish, no everything else that I can't eat.
And just like Patty and Angela, Michael also wishes he could eat differently.
I would eat more healthier. I would probably be a lot lighter, and I would have a lot less doctor's appointments, checking on different things like my kidneys and blood work and my sugars and all that.
Food banks, I think, started as a reactive component. People notice, wow, there's people struggling with hunger, there's excess food in the system, in the supply chain. Let's create a food bank. And so the concept of that was always, well, just give us your leftovers. It was not prime quality stuff.
The process starts at a national level. The Food and Nutrition Service, an agency of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, turns surplus food and USDA-purchased food into emergency commodity. In Arizona, that food is packaged at warehouses like St. Mary's and distributed to food banks and individuals throughout the state. Any food beyond that comes from food bank purchases or donations.
We can encourage donations other than gluten. We can encourage donations for more produce. So we work it on that end, as well as if you are a client and you come to Desert Mission today and you say, you know what, I'm diabetic, so I can't eat this, this, and this. They can open the box, they can donate that product back to us. We can supplement them with more produce. Depends on what we have in the house. But as it stands today, that's sort of our limitation.
Here we have our emergency food box.
The USDA recommends everyone eat a certain amount of fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and dairy on a daily basis. But Food Bank commodity doesn't fit the plate. The box we opened had Triscuits, soy milk, canned tomatoes, corn, green beans, sweet peas, peaches, Cocoa Puffs, and Gatorade. The vegetable category is full, but the vegetables are canned, meaning they're higher in sodium and lower in potassium and other nutrients than fresh or frozen vegetables. There's 1 fruit, 1 grain, and 1 protein, but no dairy, and some of the items don't even have a place in a healthy diet.
Seeing that type of food, I know that myself, I wouldn't eat that on a daily basis.
Poverty is obviously a stressful scenario, and we know that when you are under chronic stress, it tends to have negative impact on your blood pressure, on your heart, and so really for those individuals it's more important to really pay attention to their diet.
But those in poverty who rely on food stamps and emergency food boxes to get by don't have the luxury of choice.
What can you do? You're gonna eat what's there.
It is frustrating because in a perfect world you would want it to be the best food for the people who need it most. My goal here at the food bank is to try to encourage those foods that we do really support, which is, those frozen blueberries we may get, or our produce that we have every day. It's not really talking about what we don't have, but what we do have. This is what we're making today. This is a curried chicken salad.
Desert Mission teaches healthy eating through cooking demonstrations and a home gardening program, so clients can get the greatest benefit from the foods they do have access to.
It's teaching people how to cook, with the food that they receive at the food bank and giving them simple recipes that they can take home with them.
But even a food bank on the cutting edge still sees room for improvement.
Some of the things that I hope we do would be screening dietary needs, providing a lot more support as far as information on specific diabetic diets, increasing more low-sodium canned goods in the food bank.
Right now, food banks don't ask clients about their health or dietary needs, but that could change in the near future as national awareness increases.
Food is medicine. We can help people in that way. We're not just helping people, giving them food, but helping them, nourish their bodies and potentially solve any existing conditions or any potential conditions that could happen.
And there have already been signs of improvement.
I think we started something because when we partnered with St. Mary's, we were very, very unique. And over the years, the food that we've gotten from them has been better as far as choices. It makes you feel good, makes you want to keep on going.
I just kind of am grateful for what they give me and go about my business. Make do with it.
I just do the best I can. If I can't eat it, I give it to somebody else. Because there's always somebody worse off than I am.
I thank the Lord that we're alive, that's all. I'm happy. And I'm gonna keep going. I'm not gonna give up.